Not guilty. That is a plea accused political assassin Vance Belter entered today in a federal courtroom.
He, of course, is the man charged with shooting and killing former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and injuring another lawmaker and his spouse. Today, the judge also issued a new timeline for when this case could potentially go to trial. Gordon Severson was in that courtroom today. Gordon?
Yeah, two big questions that we had going into court today. Would Belter plead guilty or not guilty to killing the Hortmans and wounding State Senator John Huffman and his wife Yvette? And will prosecutors pursue the death penalty in his case? We received the answer to one of those questions, with Belter pleading not guilty, but prosecutors say they still need time to decide whether the death penalty should be on the table. When Vance Belter entered the federal courtroom Thursday morning, he was wearing an orange jail sweatshirt and yellow sweatpants, with a clean, short haircut and goatee. By all accounts, he appeared to be calm and collected, talking with his defense team before they announced plans to plead not guilty in the case. The judge then moved on to scheduling. Prosecutors filed a request to have the case deemed complex to allow them more time to sift through evidence. They say there are tens of thousands of pages of documents, thousands of hours of video, and 1,700 media files, including pictures and audio recordings. The judge agreed to give prosecutors more time, scheduling a status conference for November. Prosecutors say during that hearing, they could potentially announce whether they will pursue the death penalty. Belter faces 6 charges, including murder, stalking, and firearms violations. Back in July, prosecutors released a long handwritten letter where Belter confessed to the shootings of Melissa and Mark Hortman, but the letter doesn't explain why he targeted them along with Democrat Minnesota State Senator John Huffman and his wife Yvette, who both survived after being shot multiple times. Now, the new schedule that was announced today states that both sides have until February to submit all of their paperwork, which includes their lists of potential witnesses. So if the case does go to trial, the earliest that could happen is next spring. But today, prosecutors told me the trial may not happen until late next year or possibly 2027.
A lot of information to get through, and a very specific kind of case, especially for here in Minnesota, because it's federal. The death penalty is on the table, which, Gordon, you were explaining is making this an expensive case to defend.
Yeah, I heard today that a few of the attorneys that are representing Belter actually have to come in from the Las Vegas area, because since death penalty is on the table, they have to have someone on their legal team that has that kind of expertise. So that, is a huge expense. We also mentioned in the package and the story here that there's just a crazy amount of video, paperwork, a lot of things that they have to go through. I can't imagine how many hours these teams are spending to go through all of that to prepare for a potential trial.
All right. Thank you, Gordon.